Hi, my name's Sam Evans. Welcome to the Electric Singularity. Here on this channel, we share with you videos all about renewable energy, electric cars, and our sustainable future. Now, some of these articles I think are very important, informative, interesting. Others, such as this one, I believe are pure clickbait. We shall see. This article is on a renowned clickbait website, Inside EVs, and was written by Gustavo Enrique Rufo. The article's titled, Mercedes-Benz EQS may beat the Tesla Model S by more than we thought. It will travel further than the Model S even though the Tesla has a larger battery pack. When we wrote that the Mercedes-Benz EQS could beat the Tesla Model S in terms of energy efficiency, we had outdated numbers. Mercedes-Benz said the EQS would run up to 700 kilometers. We thought the Model S had a 100 kilowatt-hour battery pack. Now, the German brand says the EQS, with its 108 kilowatt-hour battery, can run up to 770 kilometers. And one reader told us the Model S long range has 103.892 kilowatt hours, according to EPA documents. That means it achieves 4.43 miles per kilowatt hour, while the Model S gets 3.97 miles per kilowatt hour. Now, before we continue, of course, Inside EVs are blatantly comparing a future model that doesn't yet exist against a model that currently exists now, which is obvious clickbait to get a reaction. However, we shall continue. The new EQS numbers emerged from Daimler's annual meeting. They are expressed under the WLTP cycle, which is generally very optimistic. So maybe it won't beat the Model S by as much as you claim. EPA numbers were, or if at all, EPA numbers were considered more trustworthy until Edmunds made its real-world EV range tests and discovered most of the Tesla vehicles tested could not meet them. Tesla chooses a more elaborate way to calculate the range and present better numbers, like Audi. All other manufacturers manage to beat their EPA ranges. Curiously, Tesla currently informs that the Model S long range can attain 412 miles of range. That is reported as an estimated number, not as something from the EPA. The same number is presented in European countries only converted to kilometers, which turns the range into 663 kilometers. The Model S Plaid goes farther, with 837 kilometers of range, or 520 miles plus, as Tesla informs on its US website. Still, it is so far just a promise for mid-2022 with an undisclosed battery pack capacity, making it impossible for us to calculate how energy efficient it is. We'll stick with the long-range numbers. Ironically, it will become the short-range option when the Plaid Plus is finally available. We'll assume the European numbers are the ones Tesla believes it will achieve under the WLTP cycle. If that was not the case, the company should not present them in the old continent. If the EQS really achieves up to 770 kilometers, it will consume 1 kilowatt hour per 7.13 kilometers, or 14.03 kilowatt hour per 100 kilometers. The Model S long range will run 6.38 kilometers per kilowatt hour, or spend 15.67 kilowatt hour per 100 kilometers. In other words, it spends 1.64 kilowatt hour more to run the same distance the EQS claims it can. Peter Rawlinson declared that he was disappointed legacy automakers seem not to really want to compete in the electric vehicle game. With the EQS getting so close to the Lucid Air, he finally has a good reason to speed up his company's sedan deliveries. This was an exceptionally poorly written article. I haven't been to this website for some time, and this was my first visit back there, and their journalistic standards are obviously still at a very poor level. They're clearly comparing a current model vehicle against a future proposed vehicle and intentionally not mentioning that. So I would suggest, for the most part, we ignore any articles in future from Gustavo Enrique Rufo. Moving on to the comments section. Let's pick the top comments here. The top comment comes from Winborn. He says, hopefully this is not just more BS from Rufo. Yeah, Rufo's well known clearly for BS. I would love to see MB do this and push Tesla. Tesla has a lot going for it, but they have no real competition currently, I'm assuming he's referring to. Tesla needs real competition all around. Okay, moving on to the next most popular comment. This comment had 18 likes and 1 dislike. And this comment comes from Turbo Frog. I think the right way to think of it is that the WLTP standard is less accurate than EPA, but more precise. The WLTP numbers are often off the actual range by more than the EP numbers, but they're much more consistent between manufacturers. With EPA, it's a total crapshoot whether the car's real-world range ends up being significant above, significantly below, or right on the mark. All WLTP numbers are overestimated, but if you calibrate your expectations a bit, i.e. reduce the number by, say, 20%, they provide a much better sense of the real difference between the vehicles that you are comparing. That's some interesting information right there, and I think it can help us as a standard. Maybe Turbo Froggy has a good point in assessing that we can use that strategy here is to assess the range of vehicles. Tim Kulogo has responded to him and said, I've never owned a car that was more than 10% off its EPA numbers. Besides that one 2003 Ford Focus, they were all within 5% of the EPA efficiency for fair weather, speed limit, mixed driving. It's been a great tool for car comparison. And Turbo Frog has responded to him and said, whereas in Edmunds' real-world EV test loop, they've seen everything from 20% to 60% compared to official EP range. That's with 17 different vehicles. Guys, thanks for listening. I hope I didn't waste too much of your time with this nonsense article. I think what we can take out of it is that Tesla's current model is excellent. Tesla's future models will be even more excellent. And hopefully we also see some excellent vehicles coming from their competition, such as Mercedes, Volkswagen, maybe BMW. I think it's unlikely we're going to see real competition within the next 6 months, but maybe within the next 12 months. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.